Hey guys, this is my sister playlist or series, whatever you want to call it, called How to Be a Millionaire by 30. Essentially, it's the documentation of my journey to 30, or at least some of the tips I learned to help me get there. I'm not a millionaire yet or close to it. I'm on the path for sure, but I got 3 years left, so I think I got a shot. Hopefully I make it. Either way, I will definitely be closer than I am now, and whatever I learn will be on this channel. So a couple things that I think are essential to essentially getting there is, sure, you want to invest and you got to do all this other stuff to get there, but there's kind of two things that you could do right away no matter where you're at. Okay, so we'll focus on those in this video. The first one essentially is saving money. You're gonna have to be good at saving money. I don't know any guys that aren't good at saving money and have essentially built generational wealth. Doesn't mean you can't get rich quick or win the lottery or something like that, but are you going to end up spending it all and blow it? You're probably likely to if you don't have good saving habits. So what are you going to do to save well? Well, I could give you a couple tips. I can't give you everything, of course, and I can't do it for you. But what I can tell you is that you're going to have to make sure that you put aside a certain amount. So depending on how fast you want to get there and how much time you have to get there, you're going to want to make sure that you're saving, in my opinion, at least 50% of your income. For me, it was more like 75% that I was putting aside. Now, that's obviously only if you're living at home, which I recommend. It's kind of the biggest tip I can give you. Stay at home as long as possible, okay? I still live at home with my parents, okay? I'm 27. I'm not shy about that in any way. I think it's great. Do they annoy me sometimes? Absolutely. But I think about how much I would be spending if I moved out, and it's way more worth it to stay, okay? Is this annoyance worth $1,000 a month? Or it's probably more, but the answer is always no, in my opinion, unless you're in an abusive house or just a really bad situation, which happens. And if that's the case, obviously I'm super sorry that you're in that situation. But if that's not the case, suck it up, guys. You got another 2 years. Any amount of time you can wait is obviously going to be helpful for your saving, okay? So that's one of the biggest things you could do. Another huge thing that you're going to have to do if you plan to get a girlfriend or hold any meaningful relationships is you're going to have to start managing people's expectations. Which is kind of sad in some ways. But when you meet someone, it's not the first thing you're going to say. You're not going to be like, oh, by the way, I don't spend a lot of money. Like, you don't want to do that because then you just won't have any friends. But you do want to kind of throw in little subtle hints. So if somebody's like, hey, want to go clubbing tonight? And that going clubbing means that you guys are going to have to cab there, which could cost you $40. Then you're going to go there, you're going to buy a bunch of drinks, and that might cost you another $40, and then you got to get home and it's another $40. That's $120 night. Like, that's expensive, obviously, when you're not making so much money. Even if you are, it's pretty expensive, right? So you may do it, but you don't want to do it all the time, essentially. So what you're going to do is you're going to say one of two things. If they ask you every weekend, you're going to have to lay down the law and just say, look, man, I don't really enjoy clubbing. I don't really, whatever it is that excuse you want to bake in. Obviously, you're going to have to tell them something. Ideally, you kind of want to tell them your plan, right? If people tend to get upset, but it's because people don't communicate well, right? If you tell them, look, man, I got a goal and this is what I'm trying to accomplish, and that's why I'm being this way. I'm sorry, I know it's a little annoying for you because you want to go out, but I really this is so important to me and I just want to do it. If they don't care about that and they're just like, oh, come on, man, stop being a cheap fuck, you got to get new friends, in my opinion. That's what I do. If someone isn't respectful of my goals, they can't be around me. So do you want to go to that level? Obviously, that's up to you, but you definitely want to keep it in mind, okay? So that's another thing. So in terms of saving money, we went through first, just kind of being cheap, putting aside a certain amount. and managing expectations is another one. With a girlfriend, you're gonna want to do also, don't tell her necessarily that like you're gonna be going out for a bunch of dinners. You might want to make a rule. We go out for one dinner a month or whatever it is. So she's not asking you every week to go out for dinner. And you kind of have something to go off and be like, well, we went last week, remember? So maybe we'll go in a couple weeks. And that way you delay the dinners and you don't do them as frequently. Like things like that make a difference if you add them up over time. And if you do it with your friends, your relationships, it'll make a difference for sure over time, okay? Other thing that you could do is, it's not going to take you super far, but I maximize every chance I get to use things like Rakuten, which give you essentially rebates on all your shopping, okay? Now that doesn't mean shop more, but it means that if you're gonna shop, you might as well get some money back. I kind of do that with credit cards as well. Like if I'm gonna buy something, I'm not gonna buy cash, right? That's a huge thing too. You get 1% cash back minimum usually on a card, so you might as well use your card, not cash. So those are some minor tips that could help as well, okay? So that's kind of on the saving side of things, which is obviously super important. It's a never-ending game, the saving thing. You gotta always be good at saving. When you get super old, maybe you'll have a few $1 million and maybe you won't care. That's up to you. But if you want to build wealth, you're gonna need money. And that's the way to do it. So that's one thing, okay? The other thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to invest in yourself, okay? Now that doesn't mean necessarily spending money. When people hear invest in yourself, they think, oh, but I don't have money to invest. That's why I came to your channel. It doesn't necessarily mean go buy yourself a course of $1,000 and get executive training, okay? Although that would be great, that's not what you need to do, okay? We're very lucky we have access to YouTube. We have access to all these free books online. Use them, read them. But essentially, the last tip is, to supercharge that, build a group of people around you that are doing the same thing, okay? They're reading, they're watching YouTube videos, ideally different YouTube videos and different books than you. And then they'll share with you what they learned because you're gonna share with them what you learned. And if you do that, okay, and you don't hold things too close to your chest, which is kind of one of the things that I kind of hated the most, was like growing up, my friends didn't really like tell me, like if they knew something, they would just keep it to themselves. They'd be like, oh, like I'm gonna do better on the exam than this guy. That's terrible. You don't want that. You don't want a competitive friendship. You want somebody who's gonna learn something and run to be so excited that they found something that is gonna help you as well. And they can make your life better. And how do you build that? Is you do that first, okay? You open the walls for them and you say, hey, did you ever think of this? I learned this new thing. Here, I could send you the article if you want. I thought it was great. They might be like, wow, I wonder why he's sending it to me. They might read it, they might love it, and they might be like, thank you. That was so awesome, okay? Now, there's no guarantee that they'll send one back because they may not be somebody who does that stuff, right? So you can't say for sure. But what you can know for sure is that eventually somebody will return the favor, okay? And you'll have to read what they send you. And you might realize, wow, this is actually pretty good. And if that's the case, that's the guy you want to invest in, essentially, to build that network. Say, okay, this guy's good. I'm gonna keep sending him all the good stuff I find. Then he'll send you the good stuff you find, and you guys just bounce off each other. Essentially, that's what I did to kind of build my group of friends now. It's people who want to see me thrive, and I want to see them thrive, and they're learning and they're smart, and hopefully I am too, and I'm helping them in that as well. So those are kind of the tips that I think are, they're free essentially, and you got to use them if you want to maximize your gains when you got no money. I'll make more videos on what to do with your money at some point, but for now, I think this is super helpful. If you guys have any additional ones, please put them in the comments. If you like this video, please subscribe and like the button. I don't think they have the thumbs down one anymore, but just do this one anyways. And that's it, guys. So I'll see you on the next video.